What is good, everybody? I am back, and today we are going to be talking about 3 tips that will improve your scores on the course and beat your friends as a beginner. If you aren't a beginner, some of these tips might help you as well, only because you might forget about them while you're on the course. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright guys, tip number 1 I have for you as a beginner is throw what you are comfortable throwing. Basically, I mean, don't get caught up in what your card mates are throwing. They could be throwing high-speed drivers. They could be throwing a putter on, a 300-foot hole, trying to get it all the way there. But as a beginner, this could get you in a lot of trouble. You want to stay in the fairways. You want to throw what you feel comfortable throwing, what you can consistently get in the middle of the fairway, and if you have to, play for par. Once you start getting into maybe higher speed drivers or trying to launch a putter because your card mate is throwing a putter and they can get it there, well, this could just mean trouble for you getting out of the fairway. If you really have to torque on a putter, your accuracy probably isn't going to be as good or consistent as if you just tone it down, throw something accurate and in the middle of the fairway. This is going to save you a lot of strokes as a beginner, trust me. I feel like all these tips kind of roll together. So tip number 2 I have for you is just to play smart. Now this is easier said than done, of course, but even once you get off the tee, so once you picked what you're driving with, say you do find yourself in the woods or off the fairway, play smarter and not harder, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you could be telling yourself you have a clear path to the hole and you got to throw a tomahawk through everything. Well, as a beginner, honestly, as any player, this could get you in a lot of trouble. You get hung up in early branches when you're throwing something, say, sky high, like a tomahawk, when you're trying to scramble like that. As a beginner, I would say play for the par, or even if it has to be a bogey, just pitch out of the woods, take the safer route, and then play for either, if it's a par 4 or whatever it is, play for your par, play for your bogey, because that's better than trying to throw a tomahawk through a bunch of trees, getting hung up. Now you're pitching out for your par or your bogey. Now you're taking a double bogey, a triple bogey, whatever it is. You could have saved a lot more strokes if you just pitch out, take the simpler shot to the basket. Another thing about playing smarter is off the tee, and maybe I should have started with this, but off the tee, don't try to throw your max distance if you're not going to be as accurate. Throw that mid-range or putter shot. You don't have to throw far in most cases to get par. Throw a smart forehand, backhand, whatever you're comfortable with in the middle of the fairway, which then should leave you with a simple pitch up, and maybe depending on how long that hole is, you could have a birdie look. But like I'm trying to say, don't be a hero. If there's water behind the hole, if there's OB behind the hole, take your simple par, move on to the next hole. Trust me, par will win you a bunch of rounds with your buddies because they're going to try to be the hero. They're going to be taking strokes that aren't needed, that weren't smart throws, and you're just going to be playing all around smarter golf. Alright guys, and my final tip for you is don't beat yourself up out there. Have short-term memory. I know for me, I get very angry sometimes, get upset with myself for not making a putt, not having the drive I wanted to have. Once you start making those errors and you're just letting them boil up in your head, you're going to continue to play worse and worse. Trust me, I've been there. I've been very mad on the course, and let me tell you, the rest of my round does not go as planned. Just because you missed a short putt, just because you threw a drive into the woods. There is a lot of golf to be played out there. You never know what your card mates are going to do. You don't know where they're going to end up. So don't beat yourself up. Just go out there. If you have a rough hole, brush it off, move to the next one. I know this is also a lot easier said than done, but trust me, it's going to save you a lot of strokes out there when you're not thinking about what you just did on the previous hole, because that previous hole, it's done. You can't do anything about it. Move on, brush it off. Now throw a good shot on your next one. Play smart golf. And trust me, the scores will reflect it. They'll become lower and lower and lower. And once you feel more comfortable on the course, obviously, shots are going to become more comfortable. You can start throwing further, hitting fairways, hitting bigger putts. But until you get to that point, which you have to practice to get to that point, play the smarter golf, don't be a hero, and you will win more rounds on the course. Anyway, guys, that is my 3 tips to win more rounds, to get your scores lower. I hope you enjoyed them. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go follow ChasinChains_ on Instagram, where I post there daily, and we'll see you on the next one.